Chapter 14. Duncan stared down at the camp. The three boys had jumped out of the portal, full of fear after fleeing from the demon that the fairies had summoned. They had found themselves in a small camp at the bottom of a tree-covered hill. They hadn't seen anyone else in the camp, but hadn't wanted to wait around to find out for sure. Still carrying their supplies of food, they had run out of the camp and into the trees on the hill. They had run for several minutes before the fear-induced adrenaline began to fade, and pure exhaustion began to replace it. Duncan had been the first to stumble, too drained to regain his feet. Charlie and Finn had come back for him, but seeing that he couldn't go on, they had collapsed next to him. The three had slept until long after sunrise. They had woken hungry and thirsty, but neither was a problem as they had bags full of food, and the hill had several streams running down it, which was probably why the camp was located there. While they ate, they discussed their options. They agreed that the first thing they should do is sneak back towards the camp and, with the benefit of daylight, check if there was anyone there. If it was empty, it might have valuable supplies, and it could be too good an opportunity to ignore. So that was how they found themselves staring down at a group of boys in the camp below, who were looking a little lost. Duncan was disappointed to find that the camp wasn't empty, but it looked like only a handful of the soldier boys had come back through the portal, which had since disappeared. Despite the camp looking like it was intended to hold dozens of soldiers, there appeared to be only 7 boys in the camp, with just a single goblin giving them orders. Duncan, Charlie and Finn guessed that most of the soldiers from this camp had either perished in the carnage or had leapt through the closest portal available, which had not been the one connecting to here. Having a good look at the camp, the 3 friends retreated back into the woods to discuss their options. It wasn't a long discussion, as they didn't seem to have much in the way of options. Charlie summed it up. So, we're in a strange place, maybe even another world, where we don't know anyone, we don't know how to get home, and we don't know where we are. There are goblins, demons, and bigger boys that have swords, and all of them will probably want to kill us. Is that pretty much our situation? He asked in frustration. Duncan and Finn nodded sullenly, a little depressed about the bleakness of their situation. But Duncan had a seed of an idea growing in his mind. He gave voice to it. We don't know where we are or how to get home, but there are 7 boys down in that camp that might, he said to his 2 friends. Finn raised a confused eyebrow and said, I think Charlie already pointed out that they have swords and would probably try to kill us. I don't think they will have orders from the goblins to help any stray humans get back to their own world, he pointed out, a little sarcastically. But what if I can use my ring to free them of the goblin magic? Then they'll be like us and will want to get home. But some of them will have been here for years and will know much more than us. Duncan finished his idea excitedly. This time Finn nodded slowly, agreeing that it sounded a little more plausible. They won't just let us walk up and let you spend however long it takes to break the magic, he pointed out. Charlie jumped in eagerly. Yeah, but we might only need 1, and they have to leave the camp sometime, surely. We might be able to capture one of them, and the 3 of us can hold him down long enough for Duncan to do his thing. They all quickly agreed that it was their best plan, mainly because the only other plan consisted of hiding in the woods until their food ran out and then starving to death. Charlie proudly pulled out a rope from his bag that had been in with the food stores, and he had packed it in case they needed to do some climbing. It would now be useful for tying up a prisoner. They then took turns carefully watching the camp to work out what the behaviour of the soldiers was, to work out their best opportunity for capturing a larger older boy that had a sword and knew how to use it.